This is Joey of Underage Packers. Today, me and Big B wanted to talk about something really surprising today. Aaron Nagler, our good friend, breaking that the Packers, they're calling around. They're making some calls before the November 3rd trade deadline. So a lot of fans have been looking for a wide receiver ever since last February, and now it's looking like their time might be arriving. But, I always get annoyed with this perception that Brian Gutekunst's been sitting in his office all day and not been paying attention to wide receivers. He's been making offers for plenty of wide receivers. Robbie Anderson. We don't know what happened in the draft. He could have very well been looking to trade up for Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb. It's not like Madden franchise where you can work it out either way for you, where you're going to get that pick. They have to agree too. It has to be a two-party side. So there's a lot of names out there. We'll see what happens. But today, me and Big B, we wanted to go through a few of them, say yes, no, maybe so. Let's start off with the category that we've pretty much labeled as ain't going to happen. I'd be shocked if any of these happen. OBJ has been pretty much thrown around for a year and a half now. Don't see it happen. AB and OBJ, two really bad character guys. AJ Green is up there for some reason. Julio Jones. I don't know how that just happens. People are like, oh, Julio Jones is easy to get in trade. Who knows? I mean,
it's because that one report says Julio Jones might be on the block.
Yep.
Everybody has to talk about it.
Who knows? I mean, the Cardinals got the best wide receiver in the game for dirt cheap. So, I mean, okay, so let's talk about that. OBJ and Julio, two of the best wide receivers in the game. OBJ might be a stretch call, best wide receiver in the game. But what do you think it takes? What does Green Bay have to offer to Atlanta or Cleveland?
It almost has to be picks. I can't see them parting ways with any other players right now.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be picks. Maybe like a lower end player, but
I don't see him trading away a starter just because I feel like every starter right now is so important to us. The one that is really interesting is Corey Linsley. I think he has quite a bit of leverage. He's been playing excellently so far. His contract is expiring in 8 games. It's very unlikely that they'll pay him. So maybe they're looking to say, take this center for 8 games. I don't know. It's not a very well-rounded deal for the other team, especially if you're getting a guy like OBJ or Julio who has contracts not coming up for them. Picks, I'm not a fan of trading around first or second round picks. I'm not a fan of it. Then let's talk about some guys that still probably not a good chance, but who knows? A little more better of a chance than AJ Green. Let's focus on 2 of the wide receivers that we're getting ready to play, Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller. After the Texans traded away DeAndre Hopkins, their wide receiver room is still not too bad, and we'll talk about their other special one in a little bit here. But Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller, there's 2 fast guys that, I think they could really help out the Packers offense. I don't think they're really the type of guys they're looking for, but what would you like a move where we either got Will Fuller or Brandon Cooks, and how likely do you think it is?
I wouldn't care for Brandon Cooks. I know he's really fast, but it's like one of those moves I just say no.
Yeah.
But I would love Will Fuller in a Packer uniform.
Yeah, Will Fuller is a much more dimensional guy, in my opinion. I don't see the Texans giving either one of those guys up, even though they're 1-5 and they're pretty much a shipwreck. They still have a lot more. They aren't in complete rebuild mode like the Giants, where they can just throw anybody out there where they're looking for picks, like the Vikings just did this past week. The Texans, they're looking to add some more pieces to make their team a lot better, but they have Deshaun Watson, they have J.J. Watt, even though his contract is expiring. They have a lot more talent than some other teams that are pretty much tanking right now. Some more realistic guys, you got John Ross, Golden Tate, Jamison Crowder, and Keion Cole of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Some really interesting candidates right there. Let's start off with John Ross. He's the former 7th overall pick, all because he broke the 40-yard dash record, and he hasn't done anything since he arrived in Kansas or in Cincinnati. He's injury prone. When he's on the field, he can't do anything. Big P, what is your assessment on John Ross as a player?
I mean, he's like really fast. I think we all know this already, but like you said, he just does nothing on the field. But when you have like some third string quarterback caliber player throwing the football to you.
Yeah.
And you got to take that in consideration as well.
Yeah, you said Joe Burrow and Andy Dalton and A.J. McCarron, not the best quarterbacks throwing to him, but I'm really not impressed with what he's done so far. If we can get him for a 6th or 7th round pick, I'm all in. Let's bring him in, and we'll just, whenever we're playing against a slow corner, throw him out there. I'll take that. But let's not give up anything more than a 5th round pick for him and then not be able to use him too much in the offense. Next up, let's talk about a guy that reminds me quite a bit of Allen Lazard. He's a really interesting candidate. That's Keion Cole. He's pretty good in run blocking, just like Lazard. Obviously, he's with the Jaguars. I'm not sure. I feel like he was with a team before. He never got an opportunity to play in Nathaniel Hackett's offense. But, maybe Hackett has a few buddies over there that he can work out with. He's a pretty underrated guy. You don't hear his name thrown around too much. What would you give up for a guy like Keion Cole, who I think he would definitely be more dimensional, more ability than John Ross?
I really don't know much about him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like his production or anything on the field. So let's just say like a 6th round pick. Why not?
All right.
Why not?
Yeah, wide receivers and trades in general are pretty surprising. I think that people really value draft picks lower than NFL teams do. Like, Marcus Golden just got traded for a 6th round pick today, and I was shocked. And that's really another interesting thing because you look at these guys like Damian Snacks Harrison, who was traded for a 6th rounder. Like, why doesn't Green Bay get these guys? The answer lies in two things, in my opinion: cap space and not wanting to take over spots for developed guys. But that's another discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if we spend big bucks on two wide receivers last year in the 2019 offseason, Allen Lazard never happens. I mean, and I'm not saying that EQ and MVS, you just hold out hope for them and throw them out there every week, hoping that they'll turn into Allen Lazard. But that's literally what the Packers do. They draft, they sign undrafted free agents, and they develop them. They keep them in the system. It's the Green Bay culture. Let's talk about two veterans now, Golden Tate and Jamison Crowder. I think this is really what Green Bay would be looking for. Golden Tate and Jamison Crowder, they're two big-name guys, but they're also veterans, which seems perfect for the Packers considering you look at the wide receiver room, and they don't have any veterans in there really. Davante Adams is still pretty young. Obviously, he's going to be the captain in that room. But then you look at EQ, MVS, Allen Lazard, Reggie Begelton, a lot of young guys in there. So having a veteran in there, what do you think a veteran like Jamison Crowder or Golden Tate specifically would add?
Well, it probably will boost like something like internal motivation that makes no sense or I feel like it has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. But
yeah, just that veteran leadership.
Yeah, that's
just, I think having that guy to work with Rodgers, Aaron has had to deal with all these young guys, and then you got an older wide receiver in here, and they know the X and Y routes to a crisp, and I think they'd have a really nice relationship, even though Golden Tate, not so good at memories with the Packers. Let's end it off with another veteran, which I think is the most interesting candidate and could actually happen, and I'd be super thrilled if it did. This is one of those things where no, that move would be stupid until there's actually a chance of it happening. You're like, Randall Cobb.
Hey!
Look, I absolutely love Randall Cobb. That's what we were just talking about. And multiplied that by 10 because he spent 8 years with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know exactly how he fits into this offense, but Aaron Rodgers knows him. The Packers know him. Davante Adams knows him. Be a great compliment with Allen Lazard. How thrilled would you be to see a Randall Cobb back on the Packers?
I don't think it's going to happen because we moved on from him for a reason.
Yeah.
I think you hear that way too much, but I would be so happy to see number 18 back on the Packers offense. Sign me up.
Yeah, and it's like I was talking about signing Clay Matthews and Randall Cobb, I was pretty opposed to. But if the Texans if they're offering Randall Cobb and they're like, we'll take a 3rd rounder from, I'm all in. You disagree with that?
Yeah, I wouldn't give up no more than a fourth-round pick.
Okay, yeah, and I could see the Texans offering that. It'll just be interesting to see. Packers are calling around. We'll see if they make a move. I still tend to think they won't get any moves done just because of how cautious Brian Gutekunst is. But if it happens, probably won't even be one of these guys because we're just that stupid, and it's never the popular opinion, especially with Brian Gutekunst. Will be interesting. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen to the episode we put out yesterday with Maggie Loney where we preview tomorrow's game against the Houston Texans. We'll see you later. Go Pack Go.